All right, guys, got to blow the whistle. Let's open up a page from Payne's investment playbook. Hillary and Bill Clinton shell game. You know what? This thing gets more confusing every single day. And now it turns out that they actually omitted the use of a shell company that has, by the way, 0 employees, 0 assets. Nevertheless, former President Bill Clinton, he provided counseling, consulting, and all kinds of other services through this thing. And then, of course, there's the economic and social justice crusader, Elizabeth Warren. She bought a house from an ailing grandmother in 1993 for $30,000, and then she flipped it for $115,000 just 5 months later. Love you, Warren, the house flipper. And just in time for parents writing those $35,000 tuition checks or maybe taking out those killer college loans, more of that cash will line the pockets of college presidents who now say they see themselves more as CEOs than anything else. So what are they doing? They're demanding things like retention bonuses, retention pay, housing, fringe benefits, all of this stuff, retirement bonuses. They want it all, and they're getting it all, just like a CEO. All right, guys, I talk about this a lot, the hypocrisy of the elites, and it wouldn't bother me so much except they may decide our fate. So let's move into the next real deal. Noel, I'm going to talk to you first about this. The shenanigans, first and foremost, from the Clintons. The list gets longer and longer every single day, and yet it feels like everyone's looking the other way. Are they that Teflon? Are they that impervious to this kind of stuff?
Have you noticed that no matter what happens from Benghazi to the emails to whatnot, that Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, the Clinton family as a whole, were pretty much immune to any scandal? Well, I tell you what, we hold the bar.
Where are you from originally?
Arkansas,
okay,
where they are.
You got that,
Did you have to bring that up?
I feel like handing you my wallet. You just got that Bill Clinton thing going.
Give it to me. What I'm saying is the bar is so low for the Clintons that really, I expect more things to come out. I expect more things with the Clinton Foundation and more strange ties, George Stephanopoulos, more things going on. I expect more to come out, and I expect the public to go, well, it's just the Clintons. I think that really people are just immune to the fact that they're associating the Clinton scandal.
The bar is that low. Is
it it's just the Clintons, or is it really it's just politicians?
No, it's
they're a little bit worse than the rest.
So, you know what? People do say that. People say, listen, I've heard people say, listen, it's the right and the left, but let's face it, they've taken this bad boy to a whole new level. If nothing else, Bill Clinton, what you've been able to do this is like steroids, just like Sammy Sosa hitting a home run. All right, but Lori, let's talk about this college tuition thing, because this is the heart of the season. A lot of parents watching the show right now, they wish they had been in some of these stocks because they don't know how they're going to do it. And it's a painful time, and it was just revealed, I think Yale just published their financials 2 nights ago or last night. And the presidents, these guys are making $4, $5, $6 million. How do they get away with that?
It's a vicious circle, right? Because these institutions have the cash because they're able to raise the tuition. And of course, we all know the answer as to why. We talk about the student loan debt bubble, which is the next bubble likely to burst. I mean, government is handing students money hand over fist that is taking them their entire lives to pay back. But in the meantime, these institutions, these academic institutions, universities, major universities are able to raise tuition and garner dollars to pay their administrators.
My personal
in defense, I just have to say that, and I'm the first one who says that it should all be restructured, the whole tuition scenario.
I hear a but.
But the big but is these presidents have a big job, and it's very hard to fill, and it's about supply and demand. It is so difficult for these universities to find the right president, and that's why they pay the big bucks. And if you're a sector, not all
I have no problem with that, guys. My whole thing is that the public, via the government handing away this money, is paying for these salaries. I understand they have a difficult job, but if Harvard's sitting on $36 billion,
that's exactly
they should finance these degrees themselves. They should put their money where their mouths are. The CEO at, I think last year the guy from GoPro made $700 million. None of that came out of my pocket, but I do draw the line in what's happening with these colleges.
Yeah, and that's exactly the issue.
If your kid gets into Yale, you want to go to Yale, you dream about going. You don't really care if the president makes $4 million or $40 million.
And I don't think that.
And it's only 0.5% of the budget that they're paying him. So 1/200th of the budget is what most CEOs are making.
The issue, and Charles, you just touched on it. We talked about this here before on making money. These universities and their endowments are now basically running like private equity funds, right? They are asset management firms first and educators second almost. When you have a foundation that has $28 billion, That's insane to
We
me.
hear the president talk all the time. Why are we giving oil company tax breaks? Well, you can certainly apply that same logic to these ultra wealthy universities where the parents, you know what? We do feel good when our kids go to Yale, but some of these parents right now are kind of regretting it because the kid hasn't worked and those bills keep coming.
True, but I think we should be more blame though on the government versus the actual presidents and universities. I think because the government's put the universities in a situation where this is their only option, in my opinion. So I think
to make a lot of money.
Nothing wrong with that.
Golly, you know, next time someone puts me in a headlock and just starts stuffing my pocket with money, I'm going to I won't scream loud. Yeah, I won't scream loud. So, Noel, again, I'm going to the political mastermind here. How do we articulate this message to America? How do we say, hey, you know what? We got to get the private sector back in because the private sector has an obligation to weigh risk and reward, and maybe they won't overpay for a degree in poetry or even psychology.
Yeah, you're right. And I think that we need to kind of get it under wraps and get it underway. And I think it's the private sector, that does that. And as far as the pay, I think that, and I'm sure you guys are going to get me with this, but when you get somebody that's getting paid so exorbitant amount of money, there's going to be a lot of corruption. There's going to be a lot of misuse and favoritism going on within.
And also,
I think that's a leap to say across the board.
But also, let's face it, the universities
in
this environment is a protected class also. It's part of the elitists. By the way, we didn't even get to Elizabeth Warren, the house flipper. We'll talk about that later, I guess.